Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk Tuesday. I am your host, Pop Culture Mechanic. Please call me Pop for short. And as you guys are well or maybe not well aware of, this is the day that we talk about the skilled trades. I myself have been in them for over 25 years, so I like to think I know what I'm talking about. And this is how we look into, this is where we look into how you get into the trades, what to expect, and maybe look and see maybe the best job that you could get into or career path. And I'm broadcasting on Kick and Rumble and Twitch and, of course, YouTube. And I'd like to say hello to Jake D. You smelly stooge? Who could this stooge be? Better not be me. And then there's the judge, Joseph Dredd. He is in the chat, so we have a judge in the chat, so behave yourself. You're going to be right back after you get some ice cream. Aw, man. What kind? I want ice cream. I really do. I want to try some, what is it? Chunky Monkey. If I can ever find Chunky Monkey, I'd like to try that. We have a bunch of other flavors up here, but I haven't seen that one around. And you always get the good stuff, the one with the most cream content. The higher end ice creams premium ice cream will always have a high cream content. Plain vanilla. You know what? Vanilla is a good flavor too. You need a step-by-step guide to getting an OnlyFans account started. Well, you've come to the wrong place. Be gone, e-thought. You need another place to go. Well, all right. Shall we start out with some news of the week? You can usually tell how the economy's doing by looking in the industrial news and seeing if there's more companies being building up their new facilities or anything like that, or if things are getting shut down, or if there's a strike, because we all know there was a strike going on. Let's have a look here, though. We'll look at Plant Magazine. Here's something interesting I found here. Connected vehicles can be at risk of hacking. Consumer awareness paramount. Experts. So this is something that will be coming for everyone unless you don't ever change your cars or, if you're into buying the old ones, that's fine. I would do that instead, rather than getting these brand new cars that have way more electronics in them than they need. Can we get some advice on that skilled trade? You sure will. How about getting into the lot lizard? Yeah, work at the old truck stop there, Jake D. That's how you do it. I want to visit some of them lonely truckers. They've got their commercial driver's license. That's a trade. Okay, Toronto. Blasting the heat with a remote sensor before you even get into your vehicle on a brisk winter morning is a welcome convenience. So are the comforts of lane assistance, voice command, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi. But experts warn modern connected vehicles, which are heavily packed with microchips and sophisticated software, can offer an open door to hackers. These cars are vulnerable to hackers stealing sensitive information or even manipulating systems such as steering wheels and brakes, says Robert Faslon, head of engineering for Markham, Ontario-based cybersecurity solutions company Checkpoint Canada. Cars are tracking how fast you're going, where you're going, and what your altitude is. And all the different pieces of information are being calculated. It's all computerized, he said. Unfortunately, security is not always the primary thought when these features are developed. Global Automotive Cybersecurity Report by Upstream shows remote attacks, which rely on Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and connected networks, have consistently outnumbered physical attacks, accounting for 85% of all breaches between 2010 and 2021. That proportion grew to 97% of all attacks in 2022, the report said. There's a growing concern about privacy breaches among connected cars, experts added. Let's say someone is driving on the highway and the doors get locked. The car speeds up and the driver gets a message asking for Bitcoin or they'll crash the vehicle, said Aj Khan, founder of Vehicular Incorporated in Windsor, Ontario, based company offering cybersecurity services for fleet cars. Of course they're going to do that. They're going to scaremonger you into getting their cybersecurity offerings. That scenario is quite possible right now, it says. Well, hello, DJ Ronnie G. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, we're just going over this, talking about cybersecurity for your car. My idea is just drive an older car. I mean, you don't need to buy the top of the line one with connected everything. Get the base model. Get the one without the thing that can control your steering wheel. You know, get the one that doesn't lock up the brakes on you or anything like that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Norton car, yeah. Norton Utilities, those guys. I never installed Norton because it would always take over my computer. Khan added that any car that can connect to the internet, whether gas-powered or electric, could be at risk of hacking. But electric vehicles are particularly vulnerable to cybersecurity thefts. There you go. Electric vehicles, they're saying. Researchers at Concordia University in Montreal found significant weaknesses in their 2022 study of public and private EV charging stations across Canada. All of them connect to the internet. The study showed breaches could affect drivers, power stations, and power grid they are connected to. The reason why there are a lot of vulnerabilities is because vendors and operators are rushing to deploy the infrastructure to meet the demand, said Chadi Assi, Information Systems Engineering Professor and Research Chair at Concordia University. As a result, cybersecurity was an afterthought, and it was not part of the design of the infrastructure, he added. That's ridiculous to me. In the day and age we live now, and you guys are just thinking about cybersecurity. The internet's been around since to the public since about 1994, and you after the first couple of cyber attacks, you'd figure that should be on their mind when they're creating something. Oh, let's do this at the ground level. While we're thinking about it, let's design it into it. But no, these idiots waited until they make the excuse they are rushing it out, and they didn't think about it. So. Big oversight on their part, just idiocy, and probably just because they didn't want to spend the money on it. That's why. As he explained, an EV owner usually connects with the charging station through an easy accessible mobile app, but many of these third-party apps have security holes. Concordia, why do you have to connect with an app on your phone? When I fill up my gas-powered car, all I do is I pick up the nozzle, put it in my car, and squeeze the trigger for gas. That's all I have to do. I don't have to connect with an app. So that's one of their first big blunders, I think. In 2022, the number of automotive application programs related attacks accounted for 12% of total incidents. Despite advanced cybersecurity, the upstream report shows the trend was up by 380% compared with 2021. One such vulnerability is that the protocol used for communication between the cloud management system, which processes payments among other important functions, and the charging stations may not be encrypted. If you're making payments at a charging station, those and any private information you put can be transmitted in plain text, he said, making sensitive information susceptible to theft. A gas car? Shame on me. Yep. I live in the Texas of Canada, and we have oil here. I am going to drive a gas car all the time. In fact, I just leave it running in my driveway just to use up lots of gas. No climate activist is going to tell me what to do. In fact, it's running right now. I leave it running overnight. That's what I do. If a charging system is compromised, as he said, a customer's private information could be leaked, such as the time and location of the vehicle. Hackers can also disrupt the charging process and damage the battery, the most expensive part of an electric vehicle. Electric vehicle charging stations related breaches accounted for 4% of cyber attacks to connected cars in 2022. Another critical aspect of cybersecurity is the ecosystem, is the power utility itself. The hacker synchronizes multiple charging stations and turns the charging cars on and off. The power grid could be destabilized. Assi said these shortcomings were flagged to manufacturers last year. Don't I care about the turtles, you polluted stooge? Of course I do. Turtles are great. Oil? Oil is the blood human parasites steal from Mother Earth. That's not what I heard. I heard oil is made inside the planet, just like the way bees make honey. But that's just what I've heard anyway. Manufacturers are working to strengthen cybersecurity in vehicles, but even the cat-mouse race to outdo hackers fails when intruders manage to find one weak spot which may allow them access to other connected vehicles. Auto cybersecurity is a very new field, adding the risk will persist with the ever-changing software potentially bringing newer vulnerabilities. Still, the biggest challenge lies in the lack of awareness among consumers. Collins said the auto industry is in a transitionary period. Consumers will take the time to adjust from vehicles which never had connectivity or software to the modern vehicles with software that our lives have come to depend on. Once again, another big mistake. How stupid is it to make it that the cars have to rely on that software? I don't agree with that at all. If they're making it so that it doesn't even have to be hackers, it could be your own government. They could just flip a switch if you've used up your if they bring in where you can only drive so much, and they decide, well, you know what, you're not going to go anywhere today, and they flick it off, and there's your car, dead. It's a big giant paperweight. Whereas the gas-powered car, I can say, up yours to the government, and I'm going to drive anyway. You can't turn my car off on me. That's my car. That's not your car. Is the stream lagging? Everything shows okay. Putting out good kilobytes. Yeah, it's all green. It might be. I wonder if it's Restream. It might be Restream screwing me around again. But we'll see. Hopefully it clears up. Kylon suggests consumers ask car dealerships about the vehicle software and privacy protection from third-party apps. When you go to purchase a vehicle, you ask about safety features such as seatbelts and airbags. Nobody asks about seatbelts and airbags. You don't go to buy a car and go, "How are the seatbelts?" What a stupid article this is. All you do is you ask, does it have them? Does it have airbags? I mean, every car has seatbelts. You ask if they have airbags, how many, And he says, similarly ask about cybersecurity, which is basically a health and safety issue. They won't know anything. They're salesmen. They'll tell you anything you want to hear. Sell a car. Another best practice is aware of the software used in the vehicle and how it could impact its security if a third-party app is downloaded. Experts suggest drivers should also update vehicle software regularly to avoid cyber attacks. I'm sure the dealer will do that for you at a charge. When selling a vehicle or using a fleet car, customers should be careful in connecting their phones because they may leave behind their data remnants. Myself, I don't keep any of my personal information on my phone. I don't bank on my phone. I don't do any of that stuff. I make it so that I don't have any kind of information that's critical in case my phone does get taken, stolen, whatever, lost. Other best practices include avoiding connecting to public Wi-Fi and to not keep car keys close to the front door. And thieves can use devices that capture a key fob radio signal and extend the range to remote start and steal vehicles. Tim Burrows, producer of Canada Talks Electricars, has been driving electric vehicles for 10 years and says he never found himself thinking about cybersecurity until lately. Now that the software is actually driving the car, I find myself thinking more often about the potential for bad actors to hack into the network and damage or control the semi-autonomous operation of the vehicle. While he's aware of the risk that exists, it is not something that he's deeply concerned about. He says, I suspect it might become a higher value target for those wishing to cause harm. Perhaps my attitude will change when autonomous vehicles go mainstream. Yeah, don't buy an autonomous vehicle. Always be in control. You be the driver. Don't let the car drive you. That's my advice. The White House picks West Virginia and Philadelphia region for hydrogen hubs, a source tells AP. The IRS says Microsoft may owe about $29 billion in back taxes. Microsoft disagrees. Well, of course they disagree. What are they going to do? Agree? Yeah, you know what? We do owe you $29 billion. Complacency kills? Yes, it does. Don't be complacent. Don't be an unthinking sheep following the herd. Ask questions. Don't just accept what the government tells you. First of all, they don't care. The government doesn't care about you. They're not your friend. Right? All they care about is themselves. They're not going to do anything good for the people. Anything that is done that's good for the people is an accident. I didn't know there was a sheep emoji. All right, guys. The IRS says Microsoft owes the U.S. Treasury $28.9 billion in back taxes plus penalties and interest. The company revealed Wednesday in a securities filing. That figure, which Microsoft disputes, stems from a long-running IRS probe into how Microsoft allocated its profits among countries and jurisdictions in the years 2004 to 2013. Critics of that practice, known as transfer pricing, argue that companies frequently use it to minimize their tax burden by reporting lower profits in high-tax countries and higher profits in low-tax jurisdictions. Microsoft, which is based in Redmond, Washington, said it followed IRS rules and will appeal the decision within the agency, a process expected to take several years. The company's shares dropped slightly in aftermarket trading. The IRS began an audit of Microsoft in 2007 that the agency described in federal court documents last year as one of the largest in the service's history. Microsoft says it was recently notified by the IRS that the audit has ended, starting a new process to resolve a dispute over how much it's owed. Yeah, the IRS is coming to get you, Microsoft. Stutska care about everyone. Da. I wonder where fearless leader is. Be nice to see him. He can reassure us. Still waiting for Whoopatube? Yeah, me too. I want to go on Whoopatube. Bet you they don't copyright strike you. Part of the long-running IRS investigation centered on how Microsoft structured a manufacturing facility starting in 2005 in the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico. The IRS has said Microsoft hired accounting firm KPMG to set up a cost-sharing agreement with the Puerto Rican affiliate that shifted taxable revenue out of the U.S. The IRS has also looked at other affiliates, including one that involved retail sales in Asia, according to court documents. A blog post Wednesday said David Goff, Microsoft Corporate Vice President for Worldwide Tax and Customs, said the company has changed its corporate structure and practices since the years covered by the audit. But he said it's not uncommon for large multinationals to use cost-sharing arrangements, and that because Microsoft subsidiaries shared in the cost of developing some intellectual property that were also entitled to related profits. Goff also said that the $28.9 billion sought by the IRS could be reduced by up to $10 billion because of taxes paid as a result of the 2017 tax law signed by then-President Donald Trump. Well, I don't have any sympathy for Microsoft. They are very predatory, and they are not to be trusted. So I'm sure there's some shenanigans going on behind the scenes. So I hope they have to pay. And I wish they'd stop trying to force Windows 11 on me. I don't want to upgrade to Windows 11. I like my Windows 10. I would still be using Windows 7 if my my other laptop didn't bite the dust, but it did. Because Windows 7 to me was best operating system. I had very easy to use. It was so robust. And then they came out with 10, and you can't find anything. We simply strike with stick, ice punch. Many ways to strike a slacking wretched in mind. Rollmaster Conveyor hosts open house. Rollmaster Conveyor. I never heard of these guys. Oh, they're in Cambridge, Ontario. Okay. So I've had to deal with a lot of conveyors in my time. These guys are having an open house. You've not lived until you've crawled in between a conveyor to change a roller on it. very cramped space. You sure struggle, but it's well worth it once you're done. All right, let's move along here. We've had enough of the news. So, how to get started in the skilled trades? Well, what do? First, you'll need to choose from more than 50 designated trades in Alberta. Obviously you guys aren't in Alberta, but your state, that's what it'll be. You'll start as an apprentice, which combines classroom learning with actual work experience. If you're in high school, you can earn credits toward an apprenticeship through the Registered Apprenticeship Program. I don't know if they have that in where your area or where you're at, but they do have it in my area. Outside of high school, you can choose a trade you want to work in and then find an employer willing to train you as an apprentice. Once you're hired, you can apply online. So you can look into occupations, and they have a bunch of them here. They give you how your outlook is, and your wage, and what the minimum education you need. So there's a bunch of them here. We've got agriculture technician, which is the outlook is below average. So that means you're going to be working on tractors, combines, harvesters, all the stuff that are found in agricultural work on farms and such. Appliance technician, the outlook is above average, which is good. Auto body technician, same thing, above average. Automotive service technician is average. Baker, barber, and hairstylist. Boilermaker is above average. Bricklayer is below average, but good wage, $40 an hour. Pretty good. Carpenter, below average. Cathodic protection technician, below average. Communication technician is below average. The average is just how much they're going to be in demand, I guess. Can you be like your grandfather and just live off the government? All sounds suspiciously like work. Yes. Yes, you know what? That's what's missing nowadays is people that want to get out and do hard work. Yeah, comms technician, you got it. Communication technician, average wage $34 an hour. The outlook is below average though, so I don't know if that field is flooded with more communication technicians or what. How is it where you're at, Jake D? A lot of them around? Crane operator, electric motor system, electrician, elevator constructor, field heat treatment, floor covering, gas utility, gas fitter, glazer, heavy equipment technician. Oh, industrial mechanic. That's my trade, millwright. Outlook is below average. Oh, that sucks. Average wage $42.93. That's pretty good. Instrument technician. The outlooks aren't looking so good. Oh, landscape horticulturist is above average. Never enough in USSA. Could use more house builders. Back in the USSA. Yeah, that's right. I know where this is going. Machinist, metal fabricator. Oh, above average for that. Outlook for that one. Overhead door technician, painter and decorator, parts technician, plumber, power systems electrician, power line technician, recreation vehicle service technician. If you want to work on trailers or RVs, there's a separate one for that. Refrigeration air conditioning mechanic. You will always be in demand, especially in the summertime. Roofer, sheet metal worker. Snubbing services operator, sprinkler systems installer, steam fitter, pipe fitter, steel detailer, transport refrigeration technician, water well driller, welder, and weld testing services supervisor. So there you go. There's so much to choose from. And once you do that, let's see here. Find an employer willing to train you. So here you go. It's not Indeed. I know a lot of people use Indeed. There you are. There's a list of just all sorts of things. Cooks, long-haul drivers, cement finisher, carpenter, construction heavy equipment mechanic. That one. $48 an hour. Woof, that's good. Plumbing installer, long-haul driver, cook, construction laborer. Even a construction laborer earns $23 hourly. Telecommunications technician. $31 an hour, 37.5 hours a week. Not bad. Tow truck driver, plumbing installer, cook, plumber, diesel mechanic. $38.75. That's pretty decent for a diesel mechanic. You can always look on here and check for. You can just type in apprentice, and that should. Well, maybe not here with these guys. Oh, keyword search. There we go. Apprentice. And boom. Apprentice electrician, apprentice hairstylist, plumber apprentice, glazer apprentice, apprentice carpenter, plumber apprentice, glazer apprentice, electrician, carpenter, welder apprentice. Even welder apprentice gets make good money, $36 hourly. Wow. Yeah, hairstylist, Jake D. $20 an hour. Be an apprentice hairstylist. Electrician, welder apprentice, roofer, a baker apprentice. $15.60 hourly. But remember, that'll go up. Apprentices don't make as much as journeymen do, but they do eventually. Heavy duty equipment mechanic, 35 to 45. Work hour 80 to 110 hours bi-weekly. Woof, you are putting in lots of time. Heavy duty equipment mechanic apprentice, 21.40 to 42. Once again, 80 to 100 hours. How about an IRS auditor? Yeah. Heard they were hiring more of those. We're going to fire a lot of the police officers and hire more IRS people. Because that's important. But anyways, that's what you can do. You can just go to Indeed or any of the work or the employer, like where they hook up employees and employers, any of those job sites, and just type in apprentice, see what pops up in your area. I'm sure there's something that will be there. And I was looking up shortage of skilled trades, but then I found this. Looking for a new career? EV charging technicians are in high demand. When it comes to the number of EVs and the number of charging stations, it's a weird relationship. Building more charging stations helps more EVs sell because EVs become more useful, but people don't want to build charging stations if there won't be customers. There are ways around this issue with government subsidies, forward-looking open-minded businesses trying to be first to market, and pressure from EV advocates all playing a role. But people seem to have forgotten what happens after the charging stations get put in. All the most notable EV charging initiative after the Dieselgate scandal was Electrify America. There are still EV charging stations being put in on other networks using funds from the settlement, but a great number of them are starting to malfunction, with some going completely dead, while many more have annoying malfunctions and slow charging. A recent article at Forbes covers some of the causes behind malfunctioning chargers. While available technicians is a factor, Electrify America's early stations turned out to not be able to cope with the load as more and more people use them. Worse, it's hard to get parts for these older stations, leading to extended outages that can eventually cripple a charging site. Newer Electrify America stations are doing a lot better at this, fortunately, so there's some light at the end of the tunnel for the company. In other words, the availability of people to fix the problems isn't the industry's bottleneck right now, but it's not always going to be that way. As stations get replaced with better ones, or at least better parts that don't fail so fast, and as replacement parts become more plentiful, we'll eventually reach the point where technicians are the bottleneck. So if a young person trying to decide what field to go into, or someone with more life experience looking for a new career, becoming a charging station technician is something you'll probably want to look into. In this article, I'm going to talk about what I found when looking at what it takes to go out and be a hero to EV drivers and fix broken EV charging stations. Most of the charging stations in the U.S. are in very bad neighborhoods. Oh. And back to the smart cars. Yeah, here we go. Make sure you don't get hacked when you're filling up at these things or charging up. I wish I could tell you that it's as simple as calling the local trade school and community college to get into a program, but EV charging isn't a well-established trade like many others. So there are multiple ways into the field, but just about all the paths in require one thing, that you be a licensed electrician. Getting to that point isn't easy or fast enough, so the shortage isn't going to go away very quickly. After finishing high school, or its equivalent, GED, etc., a student then needs to go to trade school for up to 2 years. After trade school, a person with electrical training needs to go and do an apprenticeship program, paid, fortunately, working under a licensed electrician. After the apprenticeship, it's possible to become a full journeyman electrician. Yes. Very easily, like 4 years. It's not that bad. But that's just one step. After becoming an electrician, a person who wants to install or fix EV charging stations will need to complete another educational program. And these come in various forms. ChargePoint offers its own online courses for EV charging station installation and maintenance. Many companies are already doing charging station work, have their own in-house training programs. There's also Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Training Program, or EVITP, where an electrician can become certified to work on EV charging stations. When it comes to job security, the good news about all this is that there are multiple paths in and out of being an EV specialist that don't kill your ability to pay the bills. An electrician who works on charging stations could go into another electrical specialty without having to start completely over from high school again. Yeah, that should go without saying, but maybe people don't know about that. You know, you're an electrician, you're always going to be an electrician. Nobody can take that away from you. You know how electricity flows and how to remove fuses and such and switchgear and all that other kind of stuff. So, and the other clean tech things happening mean that electricians with all sorts of different experience are going to be needed in the coming decades more than ever. For example, people will be needed to wire up solar battery storage, heat pumps, heat pump water heaters, home and workplace charging, level 2, and many other things. We need more people. Get out of here. We need more people than ever to start this ASAP. Here's the thing. We're already short on EV charging installers and technicians. And the growth of EV charging is only going to grow in the next couple of years. So if you were to jump into becoming an electrician today, the industry is only going to be further behind by the time you get licensed, unless something drastic happens to kill EVs. It won't, but at least he thinks it won't. You know what? One mass solar ejection and it's done for. You know, one EMP, that's it. Your electric car is a giant good-looking paperweight. Not to say that gas engines wouldn't suffer. The only thing that wouldn't suffer would be like diesel engines, because you can start those without any electricity, because diesels need compression and heat to do their job rather than a spark. There's going to be no shortage of work. Pay will probably go way up to attract new recruits. But we can't wait until the shortage gets super bad before people get started, because it's a years-long process to go from someone reading an article to someone getting ready to work. There will be many people who try to jump in when it gets bad to make a buck, but by then we could be headed for a glut of technicians and electricians who chase the shortage later. In other words, getting in before the glut comes later and being an established reputable industry player is essential. So I've always said that if you don't have a career or anything like that, you start in the trades at any time, and it doesn't matter how old you are. Who needs air conditioning? Oh boy, yeah. I know it's becoming less common, but everyone used to want their kids to grow up to become doctors and lawyers and such, but the highest paying fields aren't for everybody. Alternatively, there will be people who would rather see their kids get a safe cubicle job and go into the trades, even if those jobs pay less and require more expensive education. In other words, there are plenty of parents who direct their kids away from the trades. Truth is, though, that the right person in the trades are pretty good. The money isn't bad at all. The working conditions aren't dangerous in most cases, and it doesn't mean the person isn't doing it is low class. So there's no real reason for a good parent to discourage it. If your kid wants to go into the trades, support them and encourage them to do their best. Yeah, and it's all about who they work for, the company. The company is the ones who determine whether you're going to be safe or not. If they're a good company, they won't let you do dangerous things, and they'll give you a slap on the hand if you're going to do something dangerous. If they're a sketch company, if they're really sus, then don't. You can figure it out first day on the job when they tell you to do something unsafe. Tell you to do something unsafe, you leave that job. It's not worth your life. They don't care about you. They want you to do dangerous stuff, forget it. Leave. Not worth it. So there you go. You can be an EV charging technician. You got to be an electrician first. So go get your electrical apprenticeship and start that. And then you can move into being an electric or an EV charging technician. When it so happens that they need more, then they'll bump up the wages really high to draw people in, and then you can just pick and choose which places you want to work for. A Faraday cage car would be cool. Yes, I want to see that, DJ Ronnie G. I want to see a Faraday cage car. That would be nice. You'd love to see what an EMP does to a solar panel. Yeah. I'm curious myself. I'd like to know as well. We need to see some of these experiments. All right, enough of that, though, you guys. You know what time it is now? Picture time. Actually, how about it's time for a commercial.
Oh, hey there everybody. How are you? Well, I don't always play video games, but when I do, I make sure to safely make a safety save in a safe environment. And if you don't know how to make a safety save, well then make sure you check out Pop Culture Mechanics, 9 a.m. Mountain Time and 10 a.m. Central on Saturday mornings, where you can learn how to make a safety save that you might be so excited you could dance if you wanna. So, come on and check out Pop Culture Mechanics on Saturday mornings. Going to see you there. Bye.
Finally! Yes! Whew! My God! Hey, welcome back. Okay. As I say, it's picture time. This. That guy down. You know it, Canada Waddle. Nothing wrong with good old drunk Waddle. All right. Here you go. Everybody knows what this is, don't you? This is a wand for a pressure washer. And nothing doesn't look too crazy about it, just your typical, you got your pipe threads there. Little shiny spot there, a little bend in it. And looks like somebody tried to make like a custom knob end for it, nozzle. But there's something wrong with this thing, and it was brought to my attention because, I'm the one that repairs the equipment. I'm like, hey, this thing, something's wrong with it. And I'm like, well, what's wrong? Like, well, it's leaking. So I shined it up a bit, and I had a closer inspection of it. And yes, there's a hole. So we've got a hole in the high pressure washer. And as you can see, very clean hole. Why? So my guess is it might be because of this bend that's in it. This is just a guess. It is very old. This is a very old pressure washer handle. But yes, the fact that there's a bend in it right there and the hole occurred there seems very suspect to me. I'm thinking, yeah, this might be something of the root cause of why that it failed there. Because the new one that I bought did not have a bend in it. It was straight. And as I so often do, I like to, when I'm replacing the old stuff we have, I like to have a little bit of an upgrade. So I bought one that has interchangeable nozzle tips on there with different fan degrees of fan. So you can go from a 0 degree, which is like laser straight, you're stripping paint off this thing, or you get 15 degrees, 25 degrees, 45 degrees, and then one that is for applying soap when you're washing your car. So a very large fan. Not high pressure, but more volume to get the soap out. Maybe there's cavitation at the bend. That's quite possible. You do prefer to have like a laminar flow when you want your water flowing through the pipe. Any kind of bend in it causes turbulence. So yeah, you know what? Maybe there was a bit of turbulence there causing. You got your cavitation, which would cause the implosion of the bubbles, which would move a small piece of metal each time, and eventually it just worked its way through. Like I say, that's almost looks like a drill as to how round it is, but it's weird how it came out. There was the smaller hole and then a larger one. So it almost looks like a drill, but I know it's not. Also, it looks like, as you can tell how old this is, you can see all the pock marks on it, how it's been abused a lot. Just the way the guys handle it. But yeah, that was quite something to have to figure out why it did that. And it was easy to change out. Like you say, you just typical pipe threads, unscrew it from the handle. That's it. Screw the new one on. Put a tip on there. And yeah, that's it. I've got some other ones here though. Let's see. Oh yes. Maybe it can be used as a water fountain while washing stuff. Yeah. Maybe it'll give you a shower while you're washing stuff. So this guy, stainless steel braided hose. And I was told that it was leaking. Well, it was leaking because there's a crack in it. So this guy is supposed to seal along this section right here. But what happens is guys get too rambunctious with tightening things down, and they go gorilla on it. And they just grab it and just tighten as hard as they can. Well, when you over tighten something like this, you're going to crack it. Because it's not meant to be tightened up that tight. You know, this thing isn't that, it's not that tough. Or I shouldn't say that, but it's not meant to be over tightened the way these guys did. So for this one, this was an easy fix. I would just order 2 new ones, because when you're in maintenance, you always order 2 if you're replacing one. Then you keep the other one for a spare. So in case this happens again. But yes, do not over tighten the threads, especially for a JIC fitting or a hydraulic fitting. It doesn't do any good. You don't have to go overboard. I hate when people use a screwdriver to tighten a VGA port connection. Yeah, jeez. I mean, whatever happened to hand tight? Just with fingers. Finger tight for a VGA port connection. Good enough. Nobody has to bust out the screwdriver. It's not going to get ripped out or anything like that. It's just a monitor. But yeah, there you go. The braided hose. Stainless steel braided hose. Made to last. Very good. Teflon inside. And yeah, there it is. I'm pretty sure that's the crack right there. So just remember, you don't have to tighten everything with a snipe or anything like that. Just give it a good snug. We don't have to go crazy. Especially with these are for like taking samples, so they're always getting loosened off and tightened up. So you don't need to do that. You don't need to just murder the thing. Teflon Dawn. Yeah, there you go. Oh, those are great hoses. They get pressure tested. They chart them, so they keep a record of it, and they can get pressure tested every 2 years to make sure that they're good. I think this one was good up to, what did they say? 1700 psi. So it never sees anywhere near that pressure where it's at. It sees at most maybe 300 psi, maybe 350, but never to the max. So we are well within our safe zone. Okay, well, how about this? I show you guys. I don't suppose anyone's seen the YouTube short I put up. Tell me you guys have seen it, haven't you? Yeah, I think, yeah, you saw it, Joseph, yeah. Let's go like this. There it is. Come on. Oh, sure. Yeah, okay, YouTube's gonna buffer now. My own video. My God, you gotta be kidding me. Fancy cheese grater, guess from Godzillionaire. I don't know about that. What could it be? That's a nice rod. It's you're not the only one who said filter, Godzillionaire. Blaine said filter too. It's close. You're close. It's not quite a filter though. A didgeridoo. Nope. Nope. You guys want me to tell you? I can tell you. And I'll just tell you guys because you guys are on the stream. Everybody else still has to guess. If you're not on the stream, you don't get to hear the answer. I'll wait. I'll wait because of chat delay. I'll also take any other guesses. Well, all right. This thing goes inside a safety shower, and it keeps the water from developing bacteria for about 3 years. So this thing has all that media inside there. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's probably some kind of trade secret. But you put that in the safety shower in the tank, and you need a safety shower because you deal with chemicals and you get splashed. Then you can wash them off you, and the tank is like a 500-gallon tank, so you have to have enough water to drain continuously for like 15 minutes right on you. And this thing keeps that water from getting all grungy and filled with bacteria and growth. And yeah, that's and I can show you actually a picture. So I think I have a picture of where it goes. I know. Find you. So it goes. It goes in here. You take that flange off. After the water's drained out, obviously, you take the flange off, push that filter in here, and then put the flange back on, fill it up with water. And it's good for another 3 years. So there you go. And this is the safety shower right here. There's right up here is where all the water comes out. There's the pull handle for your emergency shower. You just yank on that, opens the valve, boom, you're covered in water. All that water coming down to wash all the chemical off you. So there you go. That is what that was. MRO 175, is that a NACE designation? Where's that at? That's in there. Next to the 304L on the front. Oh, okay. You know what? I don't know what that means. MRO 175. 175. Huh. Yeah, I know a bit of flange stuff, but I don't know what the MRO 175 means. It shouldn't need to be any kind of mace. Have to do with any kind of mace. This is all water in here. Like there's nothing like hazardous in here. There's where you wash your eyes. It can be just an eye wash. Push that. That thing pops off. Spray you in the eyes. And this is where we put the new chemical to stabilize the water and make sure it doesn't have any growth in it. Just open that, pop that cap off, dump it all in there, and then connect a hose to the very bottom of it right there. And there you go. You can fill up that 500 gallons in about an hour, I think, with just your plain old-fashioned water hose. And of course, anytime you move one of these paddles, it activates the switch, which sets off an alarm to let people know that you have been in the shower and you are in need of help and assistance. And up here too, you can't quite see it, barely, that piece there. That's the other switch. So you pull that handle down, breaks the contact, and then it sets off the alarm to let people know that you are in distress. But yeah, there you go, you guys. That is what that is. That yellow rod is for safety shower to stop bacteria forming in the water. I believe hot tubs and all that have that sort of thing as well. This is just like on a grander scale, that's all. So yeah, there you go. Fun stuff. Fun stuff that I get to try out. And, I like showing a few shorts. Throwing some out there just for stuff that people haven't seen before. Well, that's about it for the night, I think. That's all I got for you guys. Gonna wrap up the stream here. Thank you guys for stopping by, People like Jake D. It's always good to see you, buddy. And the Judge, Joseph Dredd. Judge is in the chat. And DJ Ronnie G. Good to see you, buddy. And who else was there? And you can't forget everyone's favorite kaiju, Godzillionaire. Always there with the hard questions, always wanting to know things. So if you guys wouldn't mind, just slap that like button, spread the word, let everybody know, hey, there's this crazy tradesman. He's on Tuesdays. This was episode number 50. I've been at this for 50 episodes worth of Trades Talk. So yeah, spread the word. Let everybody know. The Skilled Trades is where it's at, and if they want to know more, come see me. I'll tell them all about it. There's other good channels out there too. Channels like Pacific 414, who was just having his game stream before I started here. There's Blaine's Escape Corner, who should be streaming right now. You can come escape with everyone at the Escape Corner. There's Roland66, our very own DJ Ronnie G. There's Brandon the Anime Guy. If you ever want to know about anime, you tune into Brandon's stream. Nerdporeal Lifeform, Angry Canadian, our very own Whoopa, who hopefully will be getting a better internet connection, and he'll be back to his old streaming self, which will be fun. I like tuning into his chill streams. And don't forget Punk Waddle. He can be found at Floral Under a Rock and on his own YouTube channel. I have a Discord. It's called The Shop. That's where all the tradesmen hang out. We hang out at the shop. And you too can come and hang out. Coming up, Saturday, game stream. I am working on Castlevania 3. That game is just kicking my ass, but I'm trying my best. And it's fun. I'm loving it. It's great. So we'll see how far I can get. Hopefully I can make it to Dracula, but we'll see. Still got a little bit of time in the month left to get there, about halfway through the month. So see if I can beat them before that. Sunday is anime chat. The theme for this month. I know everyone's like spooky, Spooktober and all that kind of stuff, but my theme went along the route of dressing up, because people dress up for Halloween. Cosplayers dress up. So my theme is anime dealing with cosplay. So join me on Sunday to see some of the shows that deal with cosplay. Being a cosplayer myself, I can kind of relate. And then we're back around again to Trades Talk Tuesday, episode 51. Hopefully I'll have more pictures, more video for you to show you things involved out in the trades. So I hope you'll join me then. So yeah, I am going to head her off. I hope to see you guys on Saturday. I know it's early, but that's my thing. I work the weekend morning stream. Whereas other people are sleeping and they work late, or they do streaming late, I do streaming early. It's the best time for me. I hope to see you all there. Till then, everyone, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.